The Apple Vision Pro,
champion
of Apple's new era of spatial computing, is the biggest disappointment of my life, and it's a good reason to start this YouTube channel. So here we are. I'm a new tech YouTuber, and I'm firing shots at the Vision Pro. I'm late to the party, so what can I add? Basically, nobody knows what this thing is good for. MKBHD's verdict was, if you like tech and you have the money, it might make sense. Now let's cut the shit. Apple is supposedly beginning a whole new era of computing. So what is so wrong about the Vision Pro that it can't be a runaway success? Instant recommendation. Well, because it's boring as shit. Plus it's gonna stay boring even when there are more apps for it. Because of one big issue. Pro apps don't work. Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, IntelliJ, Chrome, Xcode, Terminal, Root, iOS Simulator, CapCut, Figma. So, yeah, basically every creative professional can't do jack with a Vision Pro. The hubris of Apple has no end. This is a so-called new era. The fucking pitchy finger? You can use it as a display for your Mac, but why would you do that when it has an M2 chip? What is the M2 chip even for? Wasted potential? Does that cost money? It should have been based on Mac OS, but instead Vision OS is based on iPadOS. Now, forgetting about the art world for a second, iPadOS has been dismissed by the pros as a shitty OS that powers that toilet gadget. They've been trying for over a decade to make iPadOS happen, and they can't admit that it's been an uphill battle the whole time. They've had to do all the legwork. After all this time, no one took it seriously, and they even brought Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro to iPadOS. They're running out of first-party apps to port. Philosophically, iPadOS is bad for humanity because it's proven time and time again to lead developers astray, to waste their time toiling away on ports, or another way of putting it, reinventing the fucking wheel. macOS is not a walled garden like iPadOS because it has roots going back to when technology was more open. It's not controlled in the same greedy big brother way that iPadOS and iOS are. iPadOS is profitable, but it's not loved. I know in the comments people are going to say they love their iPad, but you'd love it more if it could do everything your MacBook can. Why can it not? Greed. All apps for iPadOS and Vision OS are made in macOS. That's sad, because the new era of spatial computing doesn't come with a way to make apps for spatial computing. Why isn't the Vision Pro running macOS? How is it possible we're doing another walled garden that nobody asked for? This is a brand new platform, and it's naturally going to lack content. Let the devs go wild. Apple and their advertising team came up with 8 minutes of fucking dinosaur content. Imagine what the whole planet could do if they weren't limited by Vision OS. We could be playing Half-Life Alyx or Beat Saber. We could bring objects from the real world into our VR environments. We could have shared experiences, and we could develop it all while inside VR. Why do you think the computers of the past ever took off? They were for the nerd's nerd. But they were creativity machines. New applications every week. They could extend the operating system more capability. Then they made tools that made tools that made things happen. Like circuit boards and mechanisms like the ones that went into the Vision Pro to begin with. The entire industry is built on layers, and the ones who are at the bottom, the true strength of the foundation that keeps it all from collapsing, are the nerds. Computers are and have always been used by nerds. For some stupid reason, Apple is cutting off nerds from computers. But at the same time, developing on macOS is common. macOS is open, expandable, easy to love, stable as hell. It can run all the best apps and supports mice. Vision OS has none of that. macOS is like ran by a different team with actual morals. Even if you're a diehard Windows and Linux fan, you know that lots of developers love macOS. So Vision Pro should be running macOS, hands down. Bite me, Apple. Remember, computers have existed to be a playground for the mind, a medium so ready and willing to be molded by the imagination. Vision OS, just like iPadOS, is an abomination, a blunder, a silencer of the imagination. Apple got us excited for the future, but they won't be the ones to make it. I wanted a spatial computer, but all I got was a lousy spatial Chromebook.